Why did you click on this? Who are you? Tell me.
You're very welcome.
So this is I Still Believe in Heroes. This is the second episode. And so many things have happened since the first episode.
So many.
Like we haven't even posted the first episode as we're recording this, but
it's out there.
We're doing great. It exists, and it exists on a network. Something we didn't know.
It's gonna be here. Yay!
That we didn't know about
Success.
last time. Yes, we spoke it into existence. It's a thing that's happening. Do you want to talk a bit about the network?
We're gonna be on the Nerds and Beyond podcast network. So you will find episodes on nerdsandbeyondpodcasts.com/I Still Believe in Heroes. Or you could just go to nerdsandbeyondpodcast.com and you can click your way from there, because it's really easy to find, it's really easy to navigate, no worries. So yeah, it's gonna be up on there. Go have a listen.
Yeah, it's downloadable too, so if you don't want to listen online, you can download it. And we're working on putting it up on like the usual podcast sites, but it's like the first thing where we upload it is always going to be the Nerds and Beyond site. So if you want to first listen, you go there. And if you want to keep updated, we have social media channels now.
Yes, we do.
Three. Do we have three? We have like the classic, the trifecta.
Yeah.
So
and an email address.
We do have an email address. It's I Still Believe in Heroes podcast with yes, help me with the words.
So the email is still.believe.in.heroes.podcast @gmail.com.
Yes.
And then you can find us on Facebook. We have a page there called I Still Believe in Heroes. And on Twitter and Instagram, we're Still Heroes.
Mm-hmm.
On both Twitter and Instagram to keep it easy and concise.
Exactly.
So you can find us there.
Yeah, we'll be posting like pictures to go along with the episodes and like other things, and all the updates are going to be on Twitter first, probably because we use that the most.
Mm-hmm.
Give us a follow, give us a like, give us everything you got, basically.
And we're gonna put up our episodes on there with links and stuff, so please retweet and spread the word.
If you have friends that you think need people talking to them for 40 minutes, do it. We'll do that for free, probably.
Absolutely.
We have, like last time, we're going to talk about fandoms, and we're going to be talking about things that we are nerdy about right now. Em and I share a lot of fandoms, but probably the biggest one that we share, and the one we're most active in right now, is the Marvel fandom. Yay!
Marvel!
Whoop. Everyone is crying about Spider-Man right now, which is a constant mood, but we don't know what to feel.
I saw that even Jeremy Renner posted about it. He's like, Sony, give Spidey back!
Oh, Jeremy Renner. It feels super weird because like nothing has really been confirmed. Everyone is being super vague, and like Sony keeps backpedaling, so I don't know what to feel or what to think.
We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
I mean, D23 is this weekend, so
yes,
they'll probably talk about it.
I honestly can't wait for the Marvel content to come out of it. Like, there's so many great things happening with Marvel in the future. I'm super excited. And like there's Star Wars things happening, which is also a thing I will definitely talk about, because like that's my childhood, that's my life.
Oh yeah, The Mandalorian drops a trailer tomorrow.
And Jon Favreau, isn't he doing it? Like, isn't he the director? Who's also
I think so.
The Iron Man director. And the guy who cooks really well, according to a Netflix show. Yeah. So that will be great. We'll definitely be talking about like Disney and other stuff. But we talk about Marvel now.
Yes, Marvel.
We talk about, like, I wanted to talk about, like, how I got into Marvel, but it's so vague, because I got into Spider-Man when I was a kid. Like, the animated show was on TV when I was a kid, so kind of that was my first connection with it. And I read some of the comics, but not all of them. Yeah, you go first, and then I go next with the Marvel story.
I started with Marvel back when you sat down on like Fridays and Saturdays and watched cartoons in the evenings to be out of your parents' hair, basically. And they had like the X-Men, the animated X-Men series.
Oh yeah, I remember watching that.
It was like one in many animated series that I watched as a kid, because we had quite a few channels actually when I was growing up. So that's my first connection, and then I didn't really Like, I read a few comic books and stuff like that, but once again, I'm from a fairly small town, and we didn't really have that many, like, comic books.
Yeah.
So most of what I read, I came across on the internet in, like, loose bits here and there.
Yeah.
And then Iron Man came out.
Yes.
And I fell in love.
I mean, who couldn't?
It's such a good movie.
It is.
I love it so much. Robert Downey Jr. is perfect for Tony Stark.
I recently rewatched it and, like, it still holds up so much. Like, it's still so good.
It's so good. The music, acting, just like it sets such a tone for the entirety of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I think my brother had it, and he had just recently figured out how to how to have a movie on your computer and then watch it on the TV.
Mm-hmm.
So he set that up for me. And once again, it's like with Lord of the Rings.
Enablers.
I can quote that movie. Yeah. Like, I started Iron Man, and then I went to bed. That was, like, my night routine for at least half a year.
Yeah.
I would just do that, and it's been love ever since.
Right.
Since I actually knew what it was. And then it's like, oh, hang on. Because I had watched the X-Men movies and the Spider-Man and all of those movies that came before that, but I wasn't sold. I liked them and I enjoyed them fine, but it didn't pull me into the fandom.
Yeah, that's the same for me.
What about you?
Well, like I said, Spider-Man has always been, like, one of my favorites in the sense of, like, I connect it with my childhood, and my brothers were into some comics, so we had a few. Like, I read a few Spider-Man things and a few Iron Man things. I didn't like Captain America, and that will become important later on. And I read some of it. I definitely didn't read all of it. I actually was super obsessed with the X-Men movies. Like, I watched them so many times. And while they might not still hold up to, like, held up to the standards that we have now, I still kind of like them because, like, I love Hugh Jackman. And also, what's her face? Anna Paquin. Yeah, she was great. I loved her. I like that. And then I remember when Iron Man came out, I was like, oh, they made a movie out of that? I need to see that. And then I went to see it, and I have seen every single Marvel movie except for 3 in the theater since then.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy to me to think that it's been with me for so long, and, like, I haven't said that on the first podcast, but, like, I moved around. Like, I lived in 3 different countries in the past 10 years, or, like, 11 years since Marvel started its journey. And, like, I've seen movies in different countries, and, like, some of the movies I connect with that country. Like, I saw Iron Man 3 in Japan in, like, a 4D cinema, which means, like, there's, like, air blowing out of the seat, and, like, it's moving around, it's crazy. And I saw Thor: The Dark World, which I know everyone hates, but I like it. I love it. There's, like, no Marvel movie I don't like, so this will be very boring. And I saw that when I lived in London, and when I first moved to London, I lived in Greenwich, and that's where they shot some of the stuff. So I was like, oh my god, I lived there. Like, it was so crazy to me. So, like, I have a bunch of super cool memories with Marvel. But for the longest time, it's always been kind of like a back burner fandom for me. Like, it's always been around.
Yeah.
But I've never been, like, super obsessed with it all the time. Only when, like, a new movie came out or something. So, like, this really intense love for it has only been, like, for the past 1 or 2 years. Where, like, I loved it before. I've always loved it. But, like, the thing where I'm like, I need to own everything and I need to do everything and, like, get into comics and stuff. That's been, like, a recent thing for me.
Yeah, and, like, I know there's a lot of Marvel movies that I feel get unnecessary hate.
Yes.
Like Thor: The Dark World and Iron Man 3.
Yes.
Which is kind of funny to me, because, I mean, I love Thor: The Dark World, not just because, like, everyone who knows me knows that I'm a massive Loki fangirl.
Yeah.
I love Tom Hiddleston and everything he does, but I don't love Loki because Tom Hiddleston does Loki.
Yeah.
I just love the character so much. But Iron Man 3, I don't know if you've seen a movie called Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
I have.
Yeah. And it's the same director.
Yeah. And you can totally see
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is one of my absolute favorite movies, like, outside of the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
When people ask me, like, what's your favorite movie to watch? like just sit down and like this will make you feel better instantly.
Yeah.
I'm like, kiss kiss bang bang.
Right.
That's one of my joys.
Yeah.
And so few people know of it, and I'm like, it's Robert Downey Jr. and it's this crazy like heist movie almost.
Yeah.
And it's the same director, and Iron Man 3 and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, they're so similar that I can't help but love them. So yeah, it's I don't know why those movies get so much hate.
The thing is,
Well, I know objectively, but I'm also like, why can't you look past that and see the charm that the movie has?
That's exactly my thing. Like, I'm not a massive fan of the villain in Iron Man 3.
No.
I just think it's not very well executed. I'm really glad we're getting, like, the real Mandarin in the Shang-Chi movie. So that would be really great. And I'm sad because I really liked the actor who played the Mandarin, but it was not well done. And I think that's why
Ben Kingsley is amazing.
He's amazing. I don't know. I like the movie for like the character development it gave us. Like there's so much background and so much about Tony's character that's happening in this movie. I think I can't hate it because I see this character that I really love like growing and evolving, and that's just so great to see.
Yeah.
With like his relationship and the way he thinks about himself as a hero. Heroes. And like it's a great movie. I don't hate any of the Marvel movies.
I love that it gave us Rescue as well.
Yes, exactly. It's a good movie. And like with Thor: The Dark World, I have nothing to hate about that movie. I'm sorry. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the Dark Elves.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of it, but once again, I feel like so many movies have gotten away with worse things.
Yes.
That I don't understand why there's such intent on hating that one.
I mean, we all agree what the best Thor movie is. It's not that one.
I mean, Taika is our savior.
He's our god. We sacrifice
Taika.
tiny things for him. Like, we love you.
I want Taika Waititi to direct my life.
Basically. And every time I see hate for it, I'm like, you don't like fun, do you?
No.
Like, you don't like fun. Because, like, Taika legit is one of my favorite people in the world. Like, What We Do in the Shadows, yes. When I saw it for the first time, I cried laughing from minute one. It was so stupid and wonderful. And that one clip that they released with it where they lip sync to Evanescence, Bring Me to Life.
Yes.
Like, it gives me life. It gives me joy. I want to have its tiny Bring Me to Life Evanescence babies. Is the best. So, Taika Waititi, I love you. Call me. I'm just kidding.
Yes, this is a Taika Waititi appreciation podcast.
There's a lot of appreciation in this podcast. We're not very negative people. I don't like being salty about things. I'm a very joyful person. There's crickets all the way from Sweden. So we're doing great talking about Marvel here.
Yeah, sorry.
So I think
Taika is a part of Marvel now, especially since it's coming back.
Oh my god,
He's coming back for Thor 4.
Thing that is happening. I'm so freaking excited for him to do the female Thor storyline. And like, I'm so excited for him to give us the gay Valkyrie that we need and everything else. I'm just like, bring it to me.
I want it. I want it so bad.
If I had watched that panel live, I would have probably had a heart attack in the audience.
Same.
And then Natalie Portman would have had to stand above me with her hammer and be like, wake up! Wake up, Lieutenant! That's a different thing. Anyway, I think we should talk about favorites. Like, you talked about Loki.
Yeah.
Talk more about Loki. It's interesting because M comes from a country that actually has a connection to the mythology behind Loki, right?
Yeah, I think because we studied Norse mythology in school. And I think there was always something that stuck out to me. There's a thing called the Edda, which is basically there were two guys in Iceland who basically wrote down all the myths and like how everything worked. And we studied that for a bit, and there are so many stories that connect to Loki. Basically, like, I mean, I think everyone who's slightly interested in Loki knows that he's the mom of Sleipnir, the 8-legged horse that Odin rides, because he fucked off and turned into a horse and got pregnant.
I mean,
and that's just something that happens in Norse mythology.
Regular Tuesday.
It's completely like, yeah, that's just another Tuesday. And then, like, how he deceives and how he kind of has his own... It feels like he has his own mind. Like, he doesn't really follow anyone else. He will do what Loki wants to do, and that will be that, basically. And then if he can cause some mayhem... I mean, he is the god of trickery and mischief, so he will cause mayhem wherever he goes. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's bad.
Yeah. No, of course not.
Which, I know that there's this common misconception that Loki always will be bad and have never done anything good in his entire life. And it's like, no villain is interesting like that. He's
very smart. And, like, he has a sense of humor. That's, like, the thing that makes him so interesting for me.
Yeah.
That he's just like, let's just fuck with all these people. Like, I like these kind of characters.
Yeah, he's like, I have a thing here. And then I have a giant collection of human beings. I want to see what happens when I drop this thing in among this entire collection of human beings.
Yeah.
Like, they could handle it like champs. There could be pandemonium. We don't know.
Yeah.
And I want to find out what happens. And that's so fascinating about him. And also, I don't think that a villain would be any sort of interesting if it was just one-dimensional evil.
Yeah.
There has to be something driving that. There has to be a groundwork for someone to be evil like that.
Yeah, true.
I'm honestly, if we're talking about just the cinematic universe of Marvel, I'm fiercely in the camp where I believe that Thanos was controlling Loki the entire time.
Oh yeah, I'm in that camp. I'm cooking
From
for
Avengers.
that camp. I'm barbecuing in that camp. I live in that camp. So
yeah, I hate it when people are like, no, but Loki attacked the Earth. He was so evil. It's like, do you not see how he arrived? Like, did you not see? Because that does not look like a healthy any kind of being.
And especially if you see him in Ragnarok and how, like, he's so thriving and glowing and, like, alive. Girl.
Uh-huh.
People need to realize that characters have more than one dimension, and just because they killed a bunch of people, it doesn't mean they're bad.
Which kind of brings us to a segue into your favorite character.
I do want it to be a segue. I just wanted to keep talking about Loki. No, we're talking about my babies, but like talk a bit more about like Loki in the cinematic universe and like Tom and everyone.
The brilliant thing about having Tom there is Tom Hiddleston has the classical Shakespearean training. Like, he was brought up on the theater, and he is amazing to watch on stage, which we had the privilege to do, and you've done it before me as well, because we went to London and saw Betrayal.
Which is on Broadway. Get your tickets.
It's on Broadway now, and if you have... Seriously, though, if you get the chance to watch it, please watch it, because it's worth it.
Yeah, we'll retweet...
every penny.
Yeah, we'll retweet the review that we did, or that I did, on the Twitter page, so you can catch up.
Yeah. And he brings so much, because I think Tom has talked about it in interviews where he mentions how Shakespearean the entirety of Norse mythology is, in a way, because it has that sort of pomp and circumstance that some of the Shakespearean plays also include.
Yeah.
There's also that raw emotion. I think that the first Tom Hiddleston movie I saw was War Horse, with Benedict Cumberbatch. It's not a particularly big role per se. And there's a scene there where he cries. And it reminds me so much of the scene in Thor 1 where he yells at Odin.
Oh my god.
It's such an emotional scene.
It is, yeah.
And I was just like, oh, okay, fuck.
Signed.
Like, I was always interested in Loki before.
Yeah.
And then Tom Hiddleston came out and just did that. And he recently had an interview with Josh Horowitz from MTV. where they talk about Loki and betrayal, and Tom says that like he never thought that this was gonna be his life, because he was doing a play, and I think it was Feige who was there to meet Kenneth Branagh, who directed the first Thor movie.
Who's also a great Shakespearean person, by the way.
He's
done like amazing work with that.
Absolutely. And he was there and saw the play, and that's how he knew about Tom. And Tom also says in that interview, because Josh Horowitz asked him if he has ever cried, because he didn't get a film role, or if like how he's reacted. And Tom was like, no, I've never cried, but when I got the news that I got Loki, I had to sit down on the sidewalk for a bit.
Oh no.
And I just love him so much.
I know.
I love him.
She loves him so much. Like, the minute he appeared on stage, she's just like just clasping her hands over her mouth for like a full 5 minutes. And then she took my hand and squished it. I was like, that's okay. I don't need that hand.
And now I know that I've made an entire ass out of myself
because he says he saw all of the people in the audience.
Yeah, when he talks to Josh Horowitz, it's like, yeah, I see every single face in the audience, and I'm like, oh fuck.
I really hope he saw the reaction when he had his daughter in the play sit on his lap, and I cried because it was so precious. It was such a good play, guys. Like, it's Charlie Cox stars in it as well, so if you like want to see two Marvel actors in one go, go see it. Oh man, I could listen to Em talk about Loki for like an hour. I wouldn't get bored. So I'm like, keep talking. I'm not gonna come up with another perfect segue, so it's difficult. I can't really decide. I have like two people in the Marvel universe who are very dear to me. Probably. I don't know. It's so hard because if I say one, I will like feel bad for the other now.
I mean, I kind of feel hard saying that Loki is my favorite because it's so close to Tony. It's so close.
I mean, let's go with a character who has more than 3 minutes. No, like legit. Bucky Barnes is my favorite person in the Marvel universe. There's like no doubt about it. I love him with all my heart. But sadly, Marvel pays him dust. It doesn't give him the attention he deserves. And I'm very much looking forward to the TV show to redeem that.
Oh, yeah.
So, Captain America, my verdict when I was about 13 or 14 and heard about the Avengers was like, Captain America is so boring. Like, he's just strong. He doesn't do anything. I read a lot of DC comics when I was growing up. So I like DC comics. I like Batman. So I like the rich guys who build their own stuff, like Iron Man, because I thought they were cool. I didn't like the guys who were strong and could do everything, like Superman, or in this case, Captain America. So I remember when the first Captain America movie came out, I was like, I'm gonna skip that. And that is the first Marvel movie that I've never seen in the cinema. So I didn't watch it. And then Avengers came out in 2012. Yeah. And I liked him in that. I was like, he's not that bad. And around the same time, a person that we all know and love was on another show that I liked. So Sebastian Stan was on Once Upon a Time, which I was watching at that point in my life. And he played the Mad Hatter, which is like Alice in Wonderland is one of my favorite stories. And he was amazing in it. And they had like the emo eyeliner going on and everything. So like it was good. I was like, wait, he's in the Captain America movie? I'm gonna have to watch that. And that was, the rest is history, as they say. Because literally, I watched the first Avenger, I was like, oh no, I think I love him. Oh no. Oh no! That was like the progression of everything. Because like, I can't stress this enough how great Chris Evans was for that role. Like, he brought so much like humanity and struggle and like doubts into that role that really made me love the character. Like, he wasn't just a strong guy. He was like a person that struggled and he just wanted to help. And he didn't want to fight. He wanted to help. He was not like, yeah, I want to beat up people. And like the contrast with Bucky, who never wanted to fight, but always got dragged into fights because he was trying to protect someone or like because there was a war going on. was always so interesting to me because there are such different people and like Bucky just kind of goes along with it. He doesn't want to fight. He never wants to fight. And yet people always make him. And that makes me sad.
Bucky was drafted as well, right?
He was. I mean, there's like different versions because like in the movie it's not addressed and we all know that he's not entirely based on one character in the comics.
Yeah.
So there's like two people he's based on, but like the main story is that he was drafted.
They showed like the cards and someone was like, well, you do know that I think it's like an F or something in front of your number means that you've been drafted. Like you didn't go willingly. Like they told you you have to come.
Yeah, in the MCU I think it's canon that he was drafted. It's just a bit different in the comics.
Yeah, but again, like in the original comics, Bucky wasn't really Bucky as we know him.
That's true. And like,
so
I think these two characters to me are interesting, and I want to phrase that it's not because like it's a ship or it's a thing. For me, their dynamic is incredibly moving because I feel like they were at points in their life where they had no one except the other, and it's just, I don't know. It's such a beautiful story to watch no matter what you read into it. Like, I don't want to discuss these kind of things, but like just seeing Steve like in The Winter Soldier, which by the way is my favorite Marvel movie. It will never be dethroned. It is also one of my favorite movies in general. It is. I need a podcast episode where I talk about The Winter Soldier because like, girl. And like when he sees him and when he realizes who that is, like all the fight goes out of him and he's just like, oh my god, like I have a connection to life and these kind of things.
Yeah.
And even and I don't want to talk about Endgame at all.
No.
But like that one scene, it's not a spoiler anymore, guys. It's been out on digital for like 3 weeks. The one scene where Steve fights, like 2012 Steve, and he just says, Bucky's alive.
Yeah.
And he drops everything.
Yeah.
And that kind of connection between two characters. And like, I talk about that scene a lot, but the scene in Winter Soldier where they wipe him after the first encounter on the bridge. And he's just like, I knew him, and he just keeps welling up. And like, that deep emotion that they couldn't ever fry out of him, I think that's one of the things that makes this character so interesting to me. And even if they pay him dust as a character, screen time and dialogue and everything, I think Sebastian Stan does like the most amazing job in showing what a profoundly deep character it is and like why he has so many fans. He's
so good.
Guys, I wrote like a 4K piece on why Sebastian Stan is like an amazing actor outside of the MCU. But like just seeing him play that character, and it's just so deeply moving to me. And with Cap, it's the same thing. Like the journey that he's been on as a character and like trying to connect to things and trying to adjust to life and trying to adjust to like the responsibilities that he has. He's always been like, he will always be my favorite character alongside with Bucky. And like, even though he's not in the universe anymore, like, or not as Steve Rogers, we still have a Captain America. And like, my love for the character won't change now that Sam has the shield. Like, it will probably just grow because I love Sam Wilson with my heart.
Yeah.
And I think Anthony Mackie is going to do an amazing job as Cap and like bring a whole new idea to the role. And I'm just so excited for the Winter Soldier and Falcon series because like, on the one hand, like Zemo's coming back and I love him so much. I love Daniel Brühl so much. He's an amazing actor. And I'm not only saying that because he's also German, like he's so great. And I just look forward to seeing them explore the characters in a way that they might not have the chance to do.
Yeah.
Those are my favorites.
Yeah. I mean, we talked a bit about Tony Stark as well, but Tony's literally, like, if I have to name favorite, it's gonna be Loki Tony, and then it's like, Battle Royale for third place. Because everyone is up there. Like, Bucky's up there, Steve's up there, Peter's up there. I mean, even, I adore Hawkeye. I'm not too fond of the MCU Hawkeye, but I adore comic book Hawkeye.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
It's so good. He's so good. But yeah, Tony Stark, I still haven't made my peace with Endgame. About
no one has. Like, no one has made
especially,
their peace about Endgame.
Especially when I saw that the writers had said something about, we considered keeping Tony alive because we wanted to see what the journey would be like after Endgame or something like that. But then they were like, no, but he had to die to become a full-fledged hero. And that pissed me off so much.
They
so
need to stop
much.
talking about that movie. Like, don't make it
Yeah.
worse. Don't try to make it better. Just
Too much. Nothing they could say could ever make it better. Because they've already made it and it's out there and now it exists.
Listen, I know, like, a lot of people are upset with Tony's ending. I thought it was actually the only ending in the movie that I liked, in the sense of I could make my peace with it. I know it sucks that he's dead, but, like, it was such a great send-off, and I'm so mad that they didn't keep, like, the deleted scene where everyone kneels.
Yeah.
You know, that the one that they posted, and I'm like, that would have
Yeah,
been such a great tribute. Not that the funeral wasn't emotional, but I feel like it didn't say a lot about what Tony meant to them as a character and, like, as a person and as a leader, which he has essentially become.
Yeah.
And I understand that people are upset that he's dead. I am too, but, like, at least his ending was a bit respectful.
They didn't erase 10 years of character development with this ending. Yeah. But I'm still pissed that they like that they say that they're like, yeah, we considered it. There was a possibility that he wouldn't have died. And then it's just disrespectful to be like, yeah, he could have lived, but I decided to say no.
I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah, it's like come on, guys, please, just that's like the thing with storytelling.
Yeah.
If you've decided on a path where you're like, okay, this is what happened, then that's what happened. Like, that's what you've decided. Agreed. You don't have to tell everyone, yeah, I was debating between this and this, and no, he's gonna do this and this. Yeah, don't
try to fix it
like,
after you've done it. Like, that's what fanfic is for. Stay out of it.
Yeah, exactly. Let us live in our fanfic land with our fanfics. It'll be great that way. Yeah. I can just ignore everything that happened.
Yeah. We
won't
talk about Endgame. We get too angry.
I feel like we could probably do several episodes just
maybe
on
we
Marvel,
will.
Just talking about.
Maybe
we'll probably revisit this.
Do like a live episode where I watch Endgame even though I've vowed to never watch it again. Let's be cheerful. Let's do like top 3 Marvel movies, and I know it's hard, but we have to pick them.
Okay,
I'll start.
Oh geez, yeah.
Okay, Winter Soldier.
Ragnarok.
I can't pick the third one. Maybe it is Infinity War. Maybe it is. I'm not sure. I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Wait. Maybe it's Homecoming. I think it's Homecoming.
Yeah.
So Winter Soldier, Ragnarok, Homecoming. Yes.
Gosh, mine is kind of similar.
Yeah.
Ragnarok.
That's so cute. Oh my god. Do it again.
Ragnarok. It's how it's supposed to be pronounced.
I know, but it's so cute. While in German it's called Tag der Entscheidung. Okay,
what,
Germans.
The day of
decisions. I don't know.
Okay.
We're weird, okay? I don't know why we do that. The Winter Soldier in German is called The Return of the First Avenger.
Oh yeah, it's the same thing in Swedish. It's like, why I don't understand the thing with translating one English title into another English title. It's weird. It's very weird. But yeah, Ragnarok, it's so weird saying it like that. Ragnarok. Then I'd probably have to say Homecoming, actually.
It's a good one.
And then, gosh, I don't know if it's Iron Man 3 or The Winter Soldier. 'Cause no, I think it would probably have to be Iron Man 3 just based on the amount of time that I've rewatched the movies. Because I have rewatched the Iron Man movies more than I've rewatched the Cap movies. So I'd probably have to say Iron Man 3.
Picking top 3 is so hard because like there's multiple films that are like in the same range of love for me. Like I love Black Panther. I loved Captain Marvel. I've actually recently just got the digital version because it just came out in Germany.
Yeah.
Like, I can't wait to rewatch it and just get, like, I love that film.
Yeah.
Like, walking out of Captain Marvel was like, is that how men feel all the time? Because, like, I feel like I could punch someone in the face right now.
Yeah, it was so good. I went to see Captain Marvel when I was in London with a friend who lives in London, and it was just me and her and the entire cinema, and then like 3 guys came in. They came in, and this was like a midday matinee showing, and it felt like they were sneaking in because they didn't want other people to know that they were seeing it. And it was the three guys and us two. And my friend had seen it before. We were just like, oh my god, this is so good. We easily felt like the most powerful people in the world after seeing it. I was like, I feel so enriched after seeing this.
And like just the whole scene of her going like, I have nothing to prove to you, and I'm just like, yes. I cried so legit good. Tears in that scene because I was like, oh my god, good. Thank you. It was so good. It was. Honestly, I love Brie Larson, and I can't believe I'm going to meet her. I'm gonna cry.
I'm so jealous. You're gonna have the best time. It's gonna be amazing.
Oh god. I still haven't wrapped my mind around it. Like, I don't want to jinx it, but oh my god. And like her being one of the new faces of like this new Marvel phase, it's just so inspiring. Like, if you watch the Comic-Con panel back, it's just like so many new faces and so many new things that people get to do now because other people did the thing before them, like because RDJ or Chris Evans or whatever, or like Marvel took risks by casting people that weren't known back then, like Tom and Chris Hemsworth. No.
Still, that headline is so funny.
I know. Yeah,
Marvel
like,
takes huge risks signing people no one knows, and it's like, now they're household names.
I know. And like, these people paved the way, so like there's room for projects like the Eternals and the other things, and I just feel so excited for the future. And I know there's like people, maybe not the people listening to this podcast, because obviously this is a nerds podcast, so like everyone loves Marvel probably, but like people going like, oh my god, there's only superhero films in the cinema, and you're like, yeah. What about it? Like, it's just
because people need a bit of positivity in the darkest timeline,
which is why we chose our title. And also like, and who says superhero movies can't tell stories that are important? Like, Captain Marvel tells so many important stories and like touches upon so many important subjects in a way that might not be talked about in like indie films or whatever. I'm not dishing that. Like, I love cinema in all its incarnations, but like people bashing superhero films, it's baffling to me. Because like there's so much to learn from them and so much to like, it enriched my life in so many ways getting into these kind of movies. Yeah, they're entertaining, but they're also like, they give you back so much.
Exactly. So. And it's just the inspiration that they can give you. That, like, these people can go through hell and they're still moving on. It's like the, like Iron Man 2, where Tony struggles with his PTSD so fucking much.
And it is done in a respectful way to the character.
No shade, no salt.
I'm really positive, guys.
But it's done in such a good way, and just something like that can show you that it'll be okay. Like, these are powerful figures. They have lots of money or superpowers or whatever, but they still go through hell. But it's like that cliche saying, if you're going through hell, keep going.
Yeah. What most of them did. Like, none of them has like a backstory where they were like a sheltered and protected person and these kind of things. So I think it can be stories. Like, obviously representation is super important, and I'm really glad we're getting that, but like, so many people can relate to these kind of stories even on a personal level. And then like seeing small kids and like people of color growing up with like a Black Captain America and like the first Chinese American or Asian superhero and these kind of things, or like deaf representation and like other disabilities and these kind of things. And it's so important to see like everyone has like the chance to be a hero and do these kind of things. And I just think that Marvel does it in a beautiful way, and they might do it in a way that there's no room for other stories to be told, which might be a bad thing, but like, they're doing a lot to tell these stories that have been around for so many years. Like, it started in the 40s, if you think back to it. Like, my dad knows Captain America because the comics were around when he was a kid. And like, they know Spider-Man and these kind of things. And like, and my dad will watch the movies with me. He doesn't like them. Like, he will watch them with me. And like, I think, what was on TV? I think Ant-Man was on TV the last time I was at my parents' house. And it was like the final fight. And he was just like, what's that? And I'm like, it's Ant-Man. And he's like, what? I'm like, it's Ant-Man. So he's an ant? I'm like, no, not really. But then he turns small.
He has a suit.
And my dad's like, what's happening? I think think for someone without the context, it must have been the most hilarious thing. Because, like, the whole, what's it called? Thomas the Tank Engine or whatever?
Yeah.
Like, it's a giant thing, and my dad looks at me like, what the? Why are we watching? Just like, in me.
I mean,
Yeah.
I went to see Ant-Man 2 in the movies on my birthday last year, and my parents had not seen Ant-Man 1, but they, like, because we were traveling together, and I was like, I kind of want to see this movie, and they're like, okay, we can go see this movie. I'm like, you haven't seen the first one, have you? And they're like, no, but it doesn't matter. I'm like, it's gonna matter, but I had to be like whispering, like, no, this is because of that, and this is like,
AKA,
I still think they enjoyed it, but they walked out. They walked out before the end scenes, the end credit scenes, despite me saying, you have to stay.
Oh my god, stay. How do you not know? Literally.
And then it was the end, and the end scene is the snap one.
Yeah.
And they had seen me in the movie, like, oh yeah, this ended on a good note. Woohoo. And then I came out and I was crying.
I yelled so loudly. Oh my god.
And they were like, what happened?
It was just an ad playing the drums. Are you okay?
And I was like, you wouldn't understand even if I told you. And like sobbing.
It's not a phase, Mom.
So yeah, my parents enjoyed it, I think, but they didn't understand it.
Oh my god, your parents were that person that was next to me in the Infinity War midnight preview with her boyfriend and asking every 2 minutes, who's that guy? I thought he was dead. And I'm like, you need to not. You need to stop. You need to be like when Bucky appeared, and I literally yelled because Bucky appears for like the 10 seconds that I get to enjoy, and she's like, I thought he was dead. I'm like, girl, go, please.
No,
you need to leave.
Leave the cinema right now.
Educate yourself.
Don't stay here. Come back when you know things.
And even Mimi, our mutual friend, she's like, yeah, can I watch Infinity War? I'm like, what's the last Marvel movie you've seen? She's like, Doctor Strange. I'm like, maybe not. And she went to see Far From Home without having seen Endgame. All Captain Marvel. So she was like,
had she seen Civil War?
She's seen Civil War.
Okay, so she knew about that at least.
She did. I mean, we ended up rewatching all the Marvel movies in order when she was here. But she hadn't seen Captain Marvel, and she hadn't seen Endgame when she went to see Spider-Man. So the post-credit scene made no sense to her whatsoever. Yeah. She's like, why is everyone shocked? Like, duh! So, yeah. I mean, these people exist. I don't understand them, but they exist.
They exist.
I mean,
it happens.
Yeah. Do you want to start with the nerdy stuff? I feel like I've been talking the whole time.
I've been talking a lot as well. So, the main thing that I'm into right now is Critical Role. And it's a bunch of nerdy-ass voice actors who sit around and play Dungeons & Dragons. To quote Matthew Mercer, the DM of the game, which people might know as the voice of McCree in Overwatch, or the voice of Core in Final Fantasy 15, and his credits go on and on and on and on. So basically, it's a gang of mostly LA-based, voice actors who play Dungeons & Dragons. They got together for one game for one of their birthdays way back, and then they decided to keep going after that one shot. And then Felicia Day, who was on Supernatural, and she's in Dr. Horrible's Sing-Along,
and Buffy,
and she's in Buffy. She's in so many things. She's basically like the nerd queen.
She's amazing.
I feel like I look up to her so much. We stand one queen. She basically invited them because she had heard about this home game, and she was like, do you want to come on Geek and Sundry and maybe stream your game? And they were like, yeah, okay, we might, we'll give it a try and we'll see what happens. And that's 4 years ago now, and they're one of the biggest streaming Dungeons & Dragons game right now. And I started playing Dungeons & Dragons myself late 2017, early 2018-ish. And I'd never heard about Critical Role, but I'd always wanted to play Dungeons & Dragons, and one of my friends invited me to a game, and he was like, I know you've talked about wanting to play, but you said you never played, and we're starting a new campaign. Do you want to join? And I'm like, Hell yeah, I do. Because the boys in my hometown, like, no one. I tried looking around and I was like, can I play? As soon as I heard someone say that they played Dungeons and Dragons, they were like, no, our group is full. Or like,
can't sit with us.
no, it was basically, you can't sit with us.
Actually, Megan?
That it was a mix of, we don't want to let someone in, and you're not welcome because you're a girl. And that's a sort of gatekeeping I hate.
Same.
It's in the nerd community.
Yeah.
At large. I feel like there's a ton of gatekeeping, but I'm trying to catch up on Critical Role. I'm up to date on Campaign 2, but they started with Campaign 1 in Taldore, which is the brainchild of Matthew Mercer, who's a DM. And I'm trying to catch up on that because I actually am going to meet Matt in September, and I am so excited.
I'm so excited for her. I have no idea about what's happening in Dungeons and Dragons and like Critical Role. I'm like, I want her to meet him very badly.
He posted a video announcing it on his Twitter, and I saw it because I have him notifications, and I saw it, and I was yelling in my apartment. And crying. And then my friend who also watches it, he sent it, like, he DM'd me and she's like, Emily, have you seen this? Have you seen this? Have you seen this? I'm like, yes, I have to go. And I am going, and it's going to be so much fun. But I'm hysterically watching Critical Role Campaign 1 to try and catch up. And I'm on like episode 104 out of, I think it's 116 or 17. You're gonna do it. Something like that. I can do it. I have 3 weeks and I'm off work next week, so I know I can do it.
Yes.
So yeah, that's pretty much what I do. It's Dungeons and Dragons. It's Critical Role in Dungeons and Dragons because we're preparing for a new campaign as well. So it's a lot of making character sheets and figuring out my stats and figuring out what's spells I want to use and stuff like that. It's fun. Talk to me about Dungeons and Dragons, y'all.
Oh, like, is there a dungeon? Are you a dragon? I can't.
Sometimes.
I can't wait if we do like a react to this fandom episode and Emily just throws Dungeons and Dragons stuff at me and I'm like, okay.
That would be so much fun.
It will be. We'll do it. I have to come.
We'll have like a dice school and stuff like that. I'm like, what's this dice?
I'm gonna save all my reactions to that because like I have no idea about that. I played like one game of Magic the Gathering when I was like 14, and that's like my old experience with like nerdy games.
I mean, I can't get my head around Magic the Gathering.
I couldn't at that time. I liked a boy and he liked Magic the Gathering. What can you do?
I mean, that's valid.
Got over it.
I have a lot of friends who play Magic the Gathering, but I don't understand the game myself. And I feel like it takes a fair bit of time to get into, and I'm busy doing other stuff, so I'm probably not going to get into it, at least right now.
Don't do it.
We'll see what happens in the future. It might happen.
You don't have room for more trash cans.
No.
There's the trash can amount is full.
I don't have a trash can. I live in a trash mansion, okay?
It's kind of same. I feel like you picked such a general thing, and I picked like two very specific things.
No, tell me about specific things.
I like murder. Oh, sorry. That came out wrong. It didn't though. No, I wanted to talk about Mindhunter because like it's been on my mind, no pun intended, for like a week. The second season came out last Friday and I love it so much. It's so good. I want to cry. If you haven't seen Mindhunter, what are you doing with your life? Like, please get on Netflix. It's like 18 episodes or 19 episodes together. Please do yourself a favor and watch it. It is based on a true story of the behavioral science unit in the FBI that was founded in the late 1970s and basically was this unit of people interviewing serial killers and like people who murdered multiple people and trying to get like as a help for profiling. So basically they interviewed like all the big names like Son of Sam and Manson and these kind of people. And in the show, the people who play the murderers look so much like them. Like in season 2 they interview Son of Sam and he looks exactly like him. It is fucking terrifying.
That's scary.
Oh my god. Like, you don't have to talk about how obsessed I am with like true crime and these kind of things, but I always get so scared when I watch like the original interviews and like the original Bundy stuff. I get terrified.
It unsettles me so much,
especially because they're
so
like
terrifying.
they're I'm using the right word, like sociopaths. So like they just smile and they're so weird and like they want the appreciation of the person talking to them, and it's just so unsettling. And they do it so well in the show. And like Jonathan Groff is in it. He was in Hamilton in the original cast. He was in Looking. He's an incredible actor. I think he's been on Glee, but I haven't watched that.
Yeah.
And he's amazing in it. Because he brings this sort of innocence to it, like, because he's not really a cop person, he's more like a psychological person and these kind of things. So it's just, it's such a well-made show. The second season focuses on the Atlanta child murders. And even though I know how the case developed, every episode I was like, oh my God, are they going to catch him? Is it going to happen? And then when they caught him, I was like, oh my God, they did. They did it. I'm like, yes, Connie, it's based on true events. And even when
like, you know what happens, you've heard about this before.
I know, and I've seen the guy, and like they pull this guy out of the car and he looks exactly like the dude they arrested for it, and like it still hasn't been proven that he actually killed all these children. He was only convicted for 2 murders and there were 28 killings. And sorry, I'm gonna be another podcast, but like Mindhunter was
we're gonna have a couple true crime episodes, I think. But
like Mindhunter is so well done. I'm currently writing a review for the site. And I'm trying not to be like, oh my God, these are my adopted family and I love them. Trying to sound a bit more professional. But like, you guys, there's like a lesbian psychologist and there's all these things happening and we get everything.
It's on my list when I finish Critical Role. It's on my list to start Mindhunters.
It's so good. And like there's one brief episode where they interview Manson and it's so good. And I think people who are like watching the new Tarantino movie and stuff, like, it's that crime and they're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
So Mindhunter, definitely a thing. Like I finished the second season and it came out because last weekend I flew to London to go to a drag convention, which is something we'll be talking about at some point as well. But like I watched it on the plane and then my friend's plane was delayed so I could watch another episode and she walked up to me right as I was watching the Son of Sam interview and I freaked the F out. I was like, no! And then I woke up super early so I could watch another episode before we had to leave. It me. She's like, it's 6 a.m. What the fuck are you doing? Like, I'm watching Mindhunter.
Fandom, that's what it does to us.
I know. So yeah, Mindhunter, watch it. It's good. Yay.
Yes.
And the other thing, I should have done that last episode because that was the time that I finished the game, I think. I'm like super into story-driven video games. And I only recently got into playing video games at all. I got the PlayStation 4 last year and I got a friend of mine lent me her version of Detroit Become Human, which we will talk about specifically, but I also played the other Quantic Dream games and one of them is Beyond Two Souls. And I finished playing it last week and it freaking wrecked me. Like I was on the couch sobbing playing this game. I was like, no, this can't be the end. What am I doing? Oh my God. It is so good. Like I think it was a PS3 game that was remastered. So it's been a while since it came out.
It's been around, yeah.
Yeah, and it stars Ellen Page and Willem Dafoe and like another couple of actors that I forgot that I'm blanking on the name. But it's so good because you play this character and she's connected to like an entity, like a spirit called Aiden. And you play her story, but not in the right order. So you always play chapters and you don't really know what's happening next. And like it starts connecting at some point, but it's just such an interesting narrative to me. And yeah, and I played it and I got the ending and it was so heartbreaking and well done. I was like, I always want to play these kind of games. And I'm just like, I love it. And now I'm kind of wanting to replay it to get like different endings and stuff. That's what I always do with these kind of games. But like, it's really good. Like,
it's what they're for.
I know. And recently all the Quantic Dream games got released on PC as well. So like you don't need to own a PlayStation to play them.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's good.
I looked it up. I was like, yeah. Because my friend was into it. She doesn't have a PlayStation. So I was like, yeah. Do it. Watch.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's like the 2 things I really love right now. I also really love drag right now, but like we can't talk about 3 things.
It's gonna take time. We're already at.
I know. Yeah, we should probably.
1 hour and 10 minutes.
Should probably stop.
We just want to keep talking about the things we love. Okay.
Yeah. Well, like I can't wait for you guys to like tell us what you think of the first episodes. All you gatekeepers can stay home because like we're gonna delete your shit. Like goodbye.
Yeah. Yeah. But you're all welcome to download, review, share it with your friends.
Tell us what you think. Follow us on social media.
Yeah.
We'll be trying to keep consistent content up, and we really love doing this already. Even if no one but us is listening, so
yeah,
we're
sorry, you're gonna have to stick it out with us because we're not stopping this.
I know. It will be great. If you have a specific fandom that you want us to react to, or stories and stuff, we'll talk about those. Just let us know.
Yeah,
we say to
just send us a DM, tweet at us, hit us up on Instagram. I don't know, at Still Heroes, StillHeros.
You should have seen her face trying to spell it. She's like,
I don't know.
Wait.
Still Heroes. You can spell it. If you found out, if you can read our title, you can spell it. Yeah. It's Still Heroes.
It's not that hard,
word.
guys.
It's really easy. It's not that hard. It's not rocket science. I don't have a degree in anything. I can do it. You can do it too.
All right. Should we do the sign off thing?
Yeah.
We're doing a sign off. We don't have a phrase yet, so we're just winging it.
Yeah, just like last time, be kind and take no shit.
Yeah.
I guess.
Stay classy, nerds.
Bye.
Bye.